Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. New to the channel and a rather new concept. The second or third company to do this. Introducing the car wash pods. These are pre-mixed, pre-measured car wash pods. One pod for the wash bucket and 2 pods into your foam cannon. Now, not for oral consumption for those of you that are Tide Pod fans. Anyway, this is the Griots Garage super concentrated car wash pods. There are 18 pods in the bag here. We're going to dissolve them in the bucket and in the foam cannon, see how it performs, see how long it takes for the pods to dissolve in their containers, and is there any of the pod sack, that dissolvable plastic left in the bucket, can it get drawn up into your foam cannon and clog it? We're going to find out. Let's get into the video. Again, 18 pods. Well, that would be 18 washes if you're just using 1 per bucket. If you use 2 in your foam cannon or foam gun, they're going to go a lot quicker. Keep that in mind. Foam gun attaches to the hose, foam cannon to your pressure washer. Just tear it open, pull apart the top of the bag, and you have your wash pods pre-measured and ready to go. All right, we have our clear wash bucket, and I like to fill up to this line, which is about 13 liters or so. And we're going to drop our first pod into the bucket. Sinks down to the bottom there. We'll see how long that dissolves. We have our foam cannon. This is the MJJC. Clear again, so we can keep an eye on things. Again, the only thing that really bugs me about these is the very thin, cheap plastic. Any warm water, which I like to put warm water in my bucket, warm water in the cannon. You get nice foam, and that raising the temperature of the water ever so slightly raises its acidic content, which helps with a little bit of cleaning as well. So let's take the top off. One and 2. Now we're just going to let these be until they dissolve, and we'll see how long that takes. And just to show you, almost immediately the sack is breaking down and the car wash liquid is nestling down to the bottom of the bucket through the grit guard. So immediately being introduced to water, that sack is dissolving. And hopefully we'll have to, well, we might have to agitate and shake up a little bit, but hopefully that's happening here as well. All right, we'll come back in a couple minutes. Just to show you a few seconds later, indeed in the reservoir for the foam cannon, the sack is breaking down, the liquid is leaking out into the bottom of the container. What I really want to see is, after a while, does the sack dissolve completely, or do we have to go fetch that? I mean, is it, I don't want that floating around the bucket after the concentrate has been released. So will we have to fish around for those? We'll find out. We'll come back in a couple more minutes. Okay, it's been a couple minutes later so far, and we have the liquid released mostly from the pods. And what I want to know is, when we drop the draw tube down into the reservoir, is it going to get clogged by this? So let me reach down in here and see if I can manipulate this, or, okay, so it's turned into a slimy mess at the bottom of the bucket. Now maybe if you take a pressure washer and aim it towards that glob, it will dissolve it, but you know, what do you do here? You can't stick the pressure washer in there. So that's just something to be mindful of. Let's take this over to the pressure washer and we'll dunk the nozzle down in here and pressurize this, see if it foams up and dissipates the rest of this sack. And then for the foam cannon here, well, let's first simply close it up and give it a good shake. Maybe it just dissolves that way completely. And pretty much, I mean, there's some chunks floating around in there. And there's one that, yeah, I mean, it's right there. I don't know if you could see that. Shake it up a little bit more. And you could still see it floating around in there. Is it going to get caught in the draw tube? We'll see. Just flush your reservoir when you're done foaming your vehicle and get rid of that crap. Over here in the bucket, the liquid has been dispensed at the bottom of the bucket, and right here is the remains of the sack that it was in. So the pressure has pretty much blown away anything left of the sack itself. Lots of suds here. I feel a little bit of lubrication. It is a concentrate, so we'll see when we have the mitt on the car, will it nice and smoothly glide across the surface. Again, as you can see, a ton of suds. By the time I have everything ready, let's see, will these all dissipate or hang around a bit? Okay, let's see how the foamer performs. Okay, so I got to tell you, that's the way I like my soap to be running down the side of the vehicle, carrying the grit and dirt with it. I wish it was a little bit thicker, but it didn't seem to get clogged. We'll let it sit here a little bit. This car has been coated, so that's kind of the characteristics when you foam a coating. Okay, let's rinse. When you put your nozzle back in, always point it towards the floor. Make sure it's secure so it's not flying at your vehicle. All right, so the foam rinses off quickly and easily, and in theory, this takes the grittiness, pollen, light dust, and dirt and gets rid of it before the contact wash. Just under 8 minutes. We still have a bunch of foam up here. Not really the sudsiness part of this. Does absolutely nothing for the wash in a bucket wash. What I want, the two most important things, cleaning power of course, but also I want to feel slickness and lubrication as the wash media is gliding across the surface. Okay, so let's take this from the front, go all the way to the back, and I do not want to feel any grabbiness. And not too bad. It is until I get to the midway through the back portion of the back window that I feel it grabbing a little bit. Just give the mitt a little bit of a squeeze. You'll release some more of the rich formula, and you're good to go. So let me continue washing here. We'll rinse it, we'll dry it, and we'll see if it's done a good job. By the way, guys, safe for coatings, wax, sealants, pH neutral, a gentle clean. So what I'm seeing so far is a gentle clean without a film hiding the characteristics of the coating, the wax or the sealant. We'll dry it off and see, how it's done. Is the gloss still holding up? But so far so good. Two things to keep an eye on. Those of you that love that real thick dry foam, the shaving cream thick foam, might be a little bit disappointed, might have to do some adjustment on your foam cannon. And a little bit short on lubrication. I'd like to have a little bit more, but I always do. So take that with a grain of salt. And that the pod sack, whatever that is, doesn't really completely dissolve unless you use a pressure washer to come in and the pressure breaks it up and dissolves it. In your foam cannon, just watch it doesn't get caught up in the draw tube. Dries off quickly, as you would expect for a protected vehicle. So again, the shampoo doesn't leave any type of gummy, sticky film behind. Well, the shop manager may not be doing cartwheels over the shampoo. I think it's done fine. What I would reserve it for are vehicles that are protected, a wax, a sealant, or a coating, because it's a gentle clean, guys. For something that's heavily soiled, something you need real heavy cleaning action, maybe look elsewhere. But so far, I would give it a 6 out of 10. One of the cons, some of the leftover sack being floating around in your reservoir for the cannon that could get caught up in the draw tube. No big deal with the bucket. You just put the wand in there and the pressure of the water breaks that up, but you can't really do that in here. So just something to be mindful of. Besides that, not a problem with it. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate. You can get, I'm not going to put a link down below, it's not a sponsored video, no affiliate links, but the shampoo I picked up from Detailed Image. I'm sure by now you can get it on Amazon as well. Take care, fellas.